Hello, everyone. Just a quick intro to let you know that this is our segment from our episode 9 recap, where here all we discuss is the Ash Tyler as Voke theory. I have included in links below how to get to the entire Into the Forest I Go recap, and also a link to the Captain Lorca is not from here theory. Enjoy. So, like I said, we were going to start with a couple fan theories. And the first one, my lovely wife is going to hit on.
I get to go first.
You do?
I can't scroll down in our document. Oh, wait,
Can't.
here we go.
Oh, no.
My computer
Geez, it would
is
sure be a
slow.
shame if someone went and deleted everything while you were trying to talk.
That would be so sad.
Hmm.
Okay. We're now entering what I like to call Vok Talk.
Vok Talk.
The fan theory that I am addressing is that Ash Tyler is a sleeper agent, formerly known as the Klingon Vok. And this is the reasoning that we have thus far. Last time we saw Vok, he was stranded on the Shenzhou, and L'Rell says, "We got to plan big, and you have to give up everything to achieve your goals." And I mean everything. And everything can indeed include up to your identity, your race, and perhaps even your memory. We then meet Ash Tyler on board a Klingon prison ship, and he's looking pretty good for having been on board a Klingon prison ship for 7 months. 7 months, you say? He says the wardeness pays him special attention so he doesn't get the regular attentions of the guards. But who is this wardeness? None other than Voke's own dewy-eyed L'Rell. But wait! She was totally giving him dewy eyes in the beginning of the series when they were talking over, when they were pulling out the Shenzhou's matter thing.
When she looked up at him early in the series and said, "Should I decouple? Should we decouple?"
Should we
it's
decouple?
like, I didn't even realize that came in there. Well,
yes.
Oops.
She was dewy-eyed.
And it was really wardess. They use the phrase wardess, or is that just
wardeness? No,
wardeness?
I
very nice.
I
I like
coined
it.
that word for our purposes.
I like it.
But wait, she was trapped on a listless ship of the dead with Vok for 6 months. How could she be in 2 places at once? She could not, I have posited, and much of the internet has posited with me. And the reason we, and definitely I think that, and I don't just think, I know this is true. They've done I think a fantastic job. I'm going to go off script. They've done a fantastic job, I think.
Hold on tight.
Buckle in. Of playing into in the age of the internet, it's always so hard to keep secrets sometimes, and I think they've done a very good job of playing into everyone's need to be an internet detective and trying to figure things out. And I think that it has been kind of fun. I mean, some people I think have read into the shows as not having enough character development or enough knowledge of why the characters are doing what they're doing, but I think the characters are doing what they're doing because there's this big secret, and I think that's kind of tantalizing. I think that is titillating. That's the word I want. Titillating. That's a fun word.
You had to use that word this week after what happened this week on the show.
Exactly. And so the reason I think that Vok is Ash is a sleeper is because Vok. We do podcasts.
Yeah.
Vok was way too clunky. I was going to say a human being, way too clunky, a Klingon, a character, to be the smooth spy, getting the ladies to fall in love with him, and then, injecting himself into the right places in the crew. He definitely is not a 007. So I think that they had to wipe his memory and implant him with someone's memories. And I do think that Ash Tyler was probably a real person, a real Starfleet officer who they had picked up at the Battle of the Binary Stars and said, "Hey, you'll do." And so that's that, and then that brings us into these PTSD flashes in this most recent episode that I think we are seeing Ash have these flashes of the procedure of because there was a lot of worrying and scared looking Ash, but if he really had avoided torture, then he probably shouldn't have had those memories, which I think is he seemed to have been suffering from what he is communicating to Burnham as being sexually assaulted. And those flashes seem to have some sort of more medical procedure-y type thing.
Well,
and I'm
did.
sure it wasn't anything nice, because I'm sure the Klingons didn't go out of their way to make the process of stripping you of an identity and giving you another one to be, pleasant. There probably wasn't like yoga music and fluffy pillows. I'm sure it involved whirring, mechanical instruments.
Yeah, but now playing devil's advocate, though, I mean, you got to figure that Tyler doesn't immediately jump to, "Hey, let me be your sex slave." He probably got tortured a little bit at the beginning and was like, "This ain't any fun." So maybe those were his.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't dismiss that.
I just don't want the viewers
reasoning.
to think that when we like don't critically look at our own theories.
Yes,
we realize that.
No, but I truly believe that my theory is correct. And then when they get done with their mission in this last one, and he has his dream, and we see the flash of the it could be a rape scene or a love scene. Although, side note, I really kind of imagine. Not that I imagine Klingon sex a lot.
She slipped up there,
I
folks.
Caught that.
No, you didn't.
Not that I do.
All of Twitch knows
but
that.
I would imagine that Klingon sex would not involve so many sheets. Like, they seem to have a lot of sheet, like, covering them. Like, I just don't see Klingon sex being
There was
like,
no sheet covering her.
When she got up, there would have been but there was like definitely a sheet like covering them, and you just saw like arms and legs in the beginning, and I just don't feel like.
Were they supposed to be on a barrel of extra parts in the engine room? Come on.
No, but I still would have imagined maybe like a bed of pointy throw pillows. I don't know. But yeah, so I mean that is what we saw, and I also, as someone, in other things, any other content that we watched, movies and whatnot, sometimes when someone has their memories replaced or they're struggling with remembering something that was very traumatic, they remember something differently.
Yeah.
And the show presents us with what they first remember, and then like maybe we'll see those scenes represented again, but instead of like, especially the love scene, if it wasn't a rape scene, maybe we'll actually see Vok and L'Rell having, coupling, and not Ash, and that, he conflouted. There's a word there, and I'm not pulling it out correctly.
Where he mixed the two together.
Yes, he mixed the two together. Him, having sex with L'Rell and
we
becoming
have
Ash
podcasts because we know how to use words.
We talk good.
We're not just pretty.
Yeah, definitely not. We be smart. So that I think that I think I have one more point. Yes, L'Rell also, I think, gives us. I can't see how much of that.
I was off camera. Shut up.
Okay. Did you turn the camera off to
I
see
did.
that?
I gave you a live stream so you can see. Oh no!
If only you could have seen what I was watching, or not. L'Rell, especially in the last episode when she was working with Cornwall to get off Cole's ship to get on the Discovery, like specifically she was aiming to get on the Discovery. I don't feel like the vibe I wasn't getting was this like uber controlling abuser torturer, which I've seen in other characters where they just like once their plan starts to go to shit, they just start to completely go down the rabbit hole of following the person that they've been controlling because it's the last thing they can control.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I get that vibe from L'Rell. I feel like L'Rell...
No, she's happy to be where she is now.
Well, I mean, at the end of this episode, I'm talking about the episode before when she was trying to work with Cornwall to get on the Discovery.
Oh, okay.
the vibe then definitely wasn't the abuser torturer trying to track down her subject, or
Oh,
her
yeah.
her mark, and then definitely through the end of this last episode, I mean, it was more like a lover slash handler who needed to get next to their subject to make sure that everything is going according to plan, especially with the line that she said, I won't let them hurt you. And I mean, while that also can be said by someone who is a control freak and to get them more of a Stockholm syndrome type thing, I just don't think that's how it's reading to me. I truly believe, as I stated at the beginning, that Ash Tyler is a sleeper agent and used to be the Klingon, formerly known as Valk.
Yeah, and when this episode started and they were doing the previously ons on Discovery and they were reminding us, I can't even remember exactly what bit it was that they reminded us about.
I've been on this ship for 7 months.
Yeah.
I mean, they reminded us that the timeline isn't right. It can't have been right. She could have been there at 3 weeks max. And there was some time that she had to get Valk back to her family to go through whatever the process was to become Ash Tyler.
A couple hours. It's an outpatient treatment.
It's I don't know. Did you see the medical equipment they were using? It looked pretty intense.
Well, yeah, that's how they get it done in a day.
True.
Insurance only covered it for so long.
I'm sure they have a salve or a balm that just kind of heals everything quickly. A balm.
All right.
So that is the number one, I think, fan theory that's been flying through the interwebs, and I wholeheartedly believe that is what the show is doing.
Yeah, that.
And I think they're doing it pretty well. I kind of think they are.
Now, both for your theory that you just discussed, and my theory that I'm about to discuss, I do think that they're doing a good job of putting the ideas out there and feeding us breadcrumbs, but I think that they're trying to be a little bit too cute with how much they're hiding it. Like I don't think that they're giving viewers enough of a chance. And of course, let me take this moment to say we could be wrong. She could be wrong about hers. Well, it's our theory. No, well, that's right, honey. I'm sorry, I forgot. That the Volk theory could be wrong. The theory I'm about to discuss could be wrong. I like looking too deeply into things. I'm not right all the time, but part of the fun I have is trying to come up with these nifty theories and piece them all together and make them where they could possibly happen. Someone could see how Volk could be Tyler, so it's not the most outlandish thing in the world.